Happy Halloween, you creeps. Today was really boring and slow, so I decided to just make a video, and I don't really even know what to make a video on because, I don't know. I'm so pompous right now with my cigarette, my intellectual talks right now. It's all good. I'm sure a lot of you people think I'm some silly, stupid, immature, annoying, loud, inappropriate rapper chick, and that's, you know what, there's a lot more to me than that, so maybe it's time to help some people out here. And Halloween was really boring today. We only had 2 trick-or-treaters. I live in a nice community where there isn't a lot of kids. There's just a lot of older people who, I think it's just the small little area that I live in that there's just not a lot of kids there. I don't really know, but Halloween was actually, the weekend over this past weekend was really interesting. By the way, kids, don't smoke. You'll die early. This weekend was really interesting and unexpected, to say the least. I took care of a friend, and I guess they're going through a bit of a heartbreak. And, I don't know, I find this ironic because I'm wearing brains and a severed hand right now. It would be awesome to have a bra made out of hearts, 2 hearts. That would be great. He broke my heart, so I took his. I don't know. It was just an interesting weekend. You know, I guess I saw somebody break down, and I kind of, I don't know. I empathize with everybody. I have a strange amount of compassion. Even strangers who are in a tough time, I empathize with them. I have a large amount of compassion. Specifically for animals, but it can transfer onto humans a lot too. But, I don't know, I just kind of realized, I remember how that feels, but I can't get back to that place where I felt that. I remember being heartbroken, but I don't remember the feeling. I do sort of, that pit in your stomach, impending doom feeling, but I don't remember, and I don't want to jinx myself here, but, I mean, actually, no, I do. I remember what it's like to 1 second be okay, and then see a post, or see a photo of a girl, and then your throat tightens up and your heart is suddenly in your stomach, and your stomach is on a roller coaster, and your heart is attached to it, and it's just going around and around in circles, and you just cry and you can't stop thinking about it, and it's all you want to think about all day. And it doesn't even matter how awesome or cool that person was, or how good looking or not good looking they were. It's the fact that they broke your heart, and that is something that you could, I mean, honestly, it gives that person power that they necessarily don't deserve. And I think when somebody breaks your heart, you tend to put them on a pedestal as well. That they really don't deserve to be on either. And I realized that because a lot of the time when I've had my heart broken, I thought it was the end of the world. But I never saw it as this amazing opportunity where all these crazy cool things would happen and I would learn and grow so much. And that I actually would end up kind of realizing I didn't want to be with that person anyway. They weren't that cute or great or awesome or even right for me necessarily. But you don't realize that until a ways away on your journey. And I know you can't skip ahead to it, but it's why torture yourself in the present? I feel like people like to self-sabotage. If you need to hurt and you need to feel, allow yourself to feel. But once you've thought all of the thoughts that you've been thinking, and you kind of need to, or you absolutely need to, not think them anymore. Why keep repeating the same negative, opinionated scene in your head, or scenes, rather, in your head that you don't really need to? Don't fill your mind with that kind of stuff during your day. Fill your mind with solutions, positivity. What am I going to do with my life? How can I be a better me? What can make me happy right now? How can I take my mind off this? How can I twist this into to being a positive thing. Sometimes being positive doesn't help when you have negative underneath it. It's like putting a Band-Aid on a bullet hole. So I think the best solution for heartbreak is to get rid of the negative foundation from the get. And that might take a couple weeks. A couple weeks ain't that long, because if you think about it, some of these motherfuckers are dwelling for years. And I think after your first big heartbreak, to be honest, they're like a cakewalk. After your first one true love heartbreak, they're a cakewalk. They really are. Maybe I'm downplaying it. I don't know. But they really are. They're just easy. Perhaps I'm being heartless, but at least I got 3 brains, though. So to get rid of this negative foundation, I know immediately after I went through a breakup, I said, I'm not going to do the shit that I did last time, right? I'm not going to repeat. I don't want to go through what I went through for my first breakup. That was like a whole year of crazy shit, right? That was a whole year of crazy shit. And I didn't, and a lot of great, amazing things happened. And there were a lot of happy moments. But in the back of my mind, it was always eating away at me. And I couldn't fully enjoy it. And there were a lot of things I had to work on about myself. And I guess, regardless, I got through it. But I could have done more. I could have worried less. Worried less and done more. So I read this book. And it's called Awaken the Giant Within, or The Giant Within, or something, Awaken the Giant, okay? And it's by Tony Robbins. A lot of you guys probably know who Tony Robbins is, and this is really lame of me to even be saying this or bringing this up, but Tony Robbins is probably the best life coach in the world. And he has some great advice. And he has a lot of great advice when it comes to psychology and dealing with people and dealing with your own problems and dealing with yourself, dealing with heartbreak, how to love somebody, how to successfully be in a relationship, how to get over something, how to conquer your fears, how to pursue your dreams. I mean, this guy is like Ty Lopez on meth. But I read this book and it talked about, because I'm not going to credit this as my knowledge, okay? When I tell people certain things, they're like, wow, you're so wise. And it's not that I'm wise, it's just that I listen to other people and other wise people, and I like to learn, and I like to learn about a lot of different things from other people. It's really other people's knowledge that has helped me attain my knowledge. What the fuck do I know? I know nothing. He talked about the negative... I really just thought something was next to me, but it's just my hair. I was freaked out. Your negative thought is a table, right? Say this table I'm sitting on, which has 2 pillars with shelves on it. So your negative opinion, I wasn't good enough for her or him because I was too this, too that, blah, 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 right? That negative thought's just going to keep repeating and repeating and repeating and repeating in your head. And you're not going to get anywhere because you're going to try to get them to prove to you that that's not true by winning them back or by doing something to show them that you're not that. Or it's like all of the answers to that question rely specifically on that person talking to you or the fact that they broke your heart or whatever. Meanwhile, these opinions are likely not true, made up in your head, and they're just opinions. And who the fuck cares anyways? So, regardless if they're true or not, so what you need to do is that a tabletop or opinion, negative opinion, you have to give that legs. And that the legs of that table are reasons as to why this negative opinions are not true. I did this and this for her. Nobody else is ever going to be good for her. I did the best I could. I'm a good-looking person. I'm very talented. I'm very knowledgeable. I gave it everything I had. Blah, blah, blah. Like, just any reason. Whatever, okay? Even if they're made up, you base it off of those, call them schemas. I think that's a psychological term. So you write down all your thoughts. You write down reasons why they are not true. And you just, so there might be many negative opinions that you have about yourself. And how to get rid of these negative opinions for good is to just get out a piece of paper or even a notebook and write down, there might be 20 of these. For me, there were like 20. You write down all of the negative thoughts or opinions that you have about yourself or things that you think. things you fear, okay, and why they might not be true. Give it at least 4 reasons, you know. If you can only come up with 2 or 3, like, that's whatever. But once you come up with those reasons, please remind yourself that these are just negative opinions about yourself and that they're not true. And the only thing they're going to do is make you a worse person, bring you down, affect your success in life, and affect your personal relationships. So why would you want to have these negative thoughts to begin with if you knew they were just going to curse you? It's like, why would you get a car that you knew was broken, you know? Get rid of these negative thoughts. Say, this is the last time I'm going to think about them. And then after that, I'm not allowing myself to think about them. When they come up into your conscious, you say, no, I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed to think this. These are not true. Goodbye. Get out of here. Whatever. Say, okay, well then they're not true. Because they're not. And then when these thoughts pop up into your consciousness, you don't allow yourself to think them. And I know that sounds a little bit easier than it might be, but it actually really is easy. It's like really that easy. This worked really well for me, and my whole life since I was 9 years old, I've always been very self-critical, down on myself, depressed. People would take shit out of me, and I'd blame myself, and would like hold all the world's anger in. I don't deserve that. I'm an amazing person. So, you know, these last few years have been some of the happiest. This last year specifically, you know, you would think it would be the worst year of my life. My parents were getting a divorce. My grandfather died. My dad was going through that, you know, and I had just went through a breakup. And it was the best year of my life, believe it or not. One of the best. I have so many stories to tell. I met so many people. I grew so much. My career has taken off even more. I've created so many amazing things. My talent has progressed. I myself am a smarter person. I know so many more people now and do so many cool things and make more money, you know? And I never would have been able to do that if I got stuck on the negative. Or maybe I would have, but I wouldn't have enjoyed it. I wouldn't have enjoyed it. And what's the point of doing awesome shit if you can't enjoy it? People that are heartbroken go out to have a good time. That's when you should be staying in and working on yourself, which seems like the most counterintuitive thing to do, but I only like to drink when I'm happy or in a good mood. And honestly, you can't always predict that. Sometimes you'll just have a shot of Patron and be crying for no fucking reason. People go out to escape their problems and to find escape in other people's voids. I don't think that that's always necessarily the right thing to do. Why would you want to go out and have a good time if you're just going to be negative and in your head anyway and having negative thoughts anyway, you know? Go out and just take a fucking vacation from those negative thoughts, right? You have to honestly kind of like wipe everything clean about that person or that thing, you know what I mean? You have to look at them sort of unobjectively, like as if, you know, hey, it's cool, it's okay. Eventually you'll just kind of like forgive them and not really care what happens. At least you had love and at least it was with them. If you love them so much, at least you did have love and it was with them. But you can't predict the future. And you never know. That person might really regret it one day. You might still be really good friends and keep in touch, you know? But regardless, if you're a good person, you don't deserve to hurt. And I think the reason a lot of good people tend to fall for assholes is because a part of their insecure ego wants to feel good enough as if they've won over this asshole. Or if this asshole likes me, then I'm clearly good enough because they're an asshole and they like me. You have to love yourself and know you're good enough. And you should also be seeking out people in your life that treat you how you should be treated and are nice, because that's the true sign of an evolved human being that you want to be around. So, if you don't fall for these traps of self-sabotage and trying to trick yourself, that's what it's all about, is deep down we're insecure and think we're not good enough. And we seek out validation from people that have hurt us. We don't need to seek out validation from people that hurt us. If you need that, you're going to be forever miserable. The best way to get validation from people who are assholes is to not want it in the first place, and to carry on living your best life that you possibly can, and just be badass, be fearless, and be invincible. Even though you might not think you are right now, that's the best way to win. It's not really a game, it's not really about winning, but I don't know. Hopefully this helps a few people. Let me know. I just want to remind you that please do not try to date people that are emotionally unavailable or secretly psychotic or assholes, because if you need validation that you're a good enough person, or you're good looking enough, or you're cool enough by dating an asshole, you don't. There's plenty of people in the world, and there's plenty of people that love you, and hey, some of them might be assholes and some of them might like you, but at the end of the day, it has nothing to do with you, really. It's all about that person, right? I hope this helped. I don't know. Lexa out. Oh, wait. Lexa out.
Bitch, go to bed, breaking the mold on the bread. They always following trends, getting a check that's fatter than everyone's tab at this bar. Falling asleep at my desk, you know I've been working hard.